Battalion, 13th Field Artillery, Field Infantry Regiment, 1st in Vicksburg. Okay, family members, we will meet here tomorrow at the same time for the graduation ceremony. The one you've been waiting for the last 10 weeks has arrived. Please, in a safe, orderly manner, pick up your soldiers and enjoy the rest of the day. The worst part. It was just a week of waiting. You had no idea who anyone was. You didn't have any friends yet. You didn't know what was going on. You were just waiting in a line for a week. You just sleep a little bit in between. It was the worst part. Like, yeah, you could keep your phone, but for the most part, it's like, it hasn't really sunk in yet. You haven't gone through any huge change yet, so it's just this week of nothing happening. You're not learning anything, you're not doing anything, everyone's yelling at you, you haven't earned any respect whatsoever. Eating is terrible because you just have to eat whatever, and that's it. So it was awful. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not as bad, anywhere as bad as I thought it was going to be. The first minute was awful because everyone is just bubbling out of this bus, trying to get off as quick as they could. Everyone, they were all kind of whispering to each other, we're gonna get off, we're really organized and everything, that's the best way to do it. And then they start yelling at you and you're just like, I gotta get off the bus. People are going out the windows and everything. No one went out the windows, but that would have been really fun. But yeah, they did the whole, as soon as we got on the bus, it was, you put your duffel bag on your lap, and then they said, put your head in your duffel bag. No looking around, no looking out the windows, anything like that. So you just were staring at this green duffel bag for 5-10 minutes until how long it was until you got there, and they were taking a left here and a right here, and you tried to remember the order in your head because you wanted to escape as soon as you got there. No one did that, but then they just stand there and scream at you like, you got 30 seconds to get off my bus. It's yes, Drill Sergeant, and everyone scrambles out, and you're just running, and you don't know where you're going. There's just this flock of people going that way. And you've completely lost everybody who you're supposed to be with, and that one dude that you kind of know is kind of over there, so you go over there, and everyone's just running here and everything, and then you get to where you're supposed to be. The drill sergeant just makes you put the bag over your head, and then you drop it on the ground and pick my bag up, so you pick up her bag, put it back down on the ground, pick it up again, and then it was 5 minutes to that, 10 minutes to that, and then that was it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was disappointed almost. Oh. Mail call, it's actually really funny because it was, I'm not going to say the name in case they see this. You're not supposed to say the name. our female drill sergeant was she was the one handing out mail, and she's the worst one because the way she talks is just really annoying. And she handed out about 20 letters, and I got the last 8 of them. And it was funny because no one liked her. So anytime she got mad, and it was a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it's like, yeah, she's getting mad, but then it's like, ooh, she's going to take it out on us. And it was really funny because I had the last 8, and she was just like, Parsons, 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 and she just kept throwing out these letters, and letters going everywhere, and I was trying not to laugh because I knew she was going to make me do push-ups for the next 3 days. It was really funny. But the first mail call, I never got, like, a lot of people got emotional during basic, like they would, some girls would cry during formation and stuff like that. The only time I ever got emotional was the first couple mail calls. That was it. Other than that, like reading, I didn't like Parsons. I'd wait till I got upstairs and read it. But oh, it was awesome. Every time I got a letter, it was just so, like, all the people that Bronson, you wrote me like twice.
3 times.
Riley wrote me 4 times. She's not my cousin. You should be ashamed.
I'm not a writer.
I can tell by your handwriting.
Thank you. You ever notice that it changes mid?
It does, yeah.
That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I needed Rosetta Stone to get through it. I need my own Bronson Rosetta Stone. Anyway, it was really, I love getting letters, especially the ones that were just like Riley's were always like, hey, I did this today, or I did this today with Grayson, or I did this today with Mom was like that too. Yeah, you gave me one every day. Forgot about that.
Clean.
Yeah, yours were just, I cleaned this today, and I cleaned this today, and I cleaned this today, and I cleaned this today.
And your dad was like, I took the trash out and mowed the lawn today.
Yeah, how often do you mow the lawn, Dad?
Every week.
Really?
Well, except the last time. The last time we took it down like 4 notches on the mower, so we had to mow it twice. I mowed it once and then you mowed it once.
Okay, all right. So it's,
but
Abby is slowly getting chaptered into the lawn mowing.
Yes.
Anyway, but those are the best ones where it was just, and then Dad, you sent me all the the history stuff. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was the best. Like, those are my favorite ones because reading material is pretty scarce in basic training.
I
It's
tried.
Aside from like memos on the wall, like, hey, clean the latrine, there's nothing to read. So. And then Amy said you sent me sports scores all the time. That was cool. Abby, you always had like the same, your sense of humor was exactly the same when you write. So it was like, yeah, it's all right. So letters were just, all letters were awesome. Let's just say that. So we had to do, it's normally like you go to the range, it's just a shooting range. Like, there's targets to shoot at, you shoot at the targets and that's it. They have special live fire ranges where there's actual targets that pop up and you're running through and you have to shoot these targets and they have live ammunition. Drill sergeant is right over your shoulder. So it's really like you don't mess up. And the first time we did it, we just yelled bang. That was us shooting. We just yelled bang. The drill sergeants were just kind of chilling around, whatever. So we get down and yell bang bang, and then you tell battle buddy cover me while I move. So one guy's like, I got you covered, battle buddy. The other guy runs up a firing position, gets down, the other guy moves, blah 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 blah. We did it with blanks next. Now this was when everyone really ironed out the kinks because the drill sergeants were like, it's ammunition. It's not going to hurt anybody, but it's still ammunition. And so what you did was you ran and then you jumped down on the ground. And that's your next firing, so you fire from the ground. And then you jump up and you run. So I was running, and instead of running with the weapon in your shoulder like you're supposed to pointed down, I just had it sideways and was running like all willy-nilly this way, that way. Drill sergeant saw that, yelled at me for it. Parsons, get your every number of expletives under the sun. Get your weapon out of my face. Yes, drill sergeant, my bad, drill sergeant. Then I did it again. And he didn't push me, but he like grabbed me by the collar. I was like, don't do that, Parsons. I said it one time, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. I got off lucky. I saw guys go flying into the woods. One guy, like, some lady put, one of the other drill sergeants, she was a female, she's like the nastiest one there. Like, ours is just annoying and like always loud and obnoxious. This one is just like you don't mess with her. She put her foot on some dude's helmet. He was in the ground. He was like he was crawling, and he accidentally pointed his weapon at her. This was no ammo in it either. Like no blanks, no nothing. So this is like nothing. Like he was yelling bang, and he accidentally pointed at her. And when he was crawling, you crawl with your helmet like in the sand. She put her helmet, or she put a boot on his helmet. We got down real close and started whispering in his ear. But he didn't do it again, so I guess it was something. I guess it was something pretty bad. No, anyway, that was my biggest oh crap moment. Let's see. Ooh, this is a long. I actually was gonna send you guys a letter on this, but excuse me, to Dr. Pepper. It's been a while. Anyway, so there's 3 different types of eating. There's MREs, which is you just take the MRE out and eat it. It's pretty self-explanatory. They give you a little heating pouch. I never used it. I just ate it. It wasn't cold, but it was like room temperature. I just ate it. I didn't care. Then there's hot A's. I don't know what that word is, but that's just what we called it. And that was basically like when they catered to, like, you know when you go to like a hotel, how they have like the breakfast in the morning, it's in like little things that they just take out, put a new one in when it's all out. Basically like that. That's the worst one, by far, because they never give you enough, and it's all stuff that's really easy to cook. So they have these. Huh?
Is it mush?
It's not mush. It's what was it? Lamb cutlet or no veal cutlets. It's like chicken patties, but like exponentially worse. And veggie burgers. Those are the big 2, whether you got one or the other. And I don't like either of them, and I hate veal cutlets. I hate veal now. I've never even had good veal. I just know I hate it, you know. I have never wanted veal so much in my life as opposed to those stupid veggie burgers. And I don't know why, but I always ended up with a veggie burger. Because it's either or, and everyone would like, no, it's my birthday today. Give me the veal, it's my birthday, guys, it's my birthday. Still got the stupid veggie burgers. Whatever. Anyway, then there was the DFAC, which is the dining facility. We just call it the DFAC. That was where everyone loved to go because you got juice, and you got yogurt, and you got Jello. I don't know why they decided we're going to make rough, tough soldiers and feed them Jello. But they did. And so everyone just marched there, and then we send, so a platoon is usually like, our platoons are like about 60 people, and there was 4 columns. So all the columns would line up, so it would be like first platoon, and then second platoon, and then third platoon, which is us, and then fourth platoon. And then you would line up inside the DFAC by squad, so it's like the column basically. So there's 4 squads to a platoon. So first squad would go in the DFAC, and then second, and then third and fourth, all through the platoons. And then once you get in there, you wash your hands and you stand in line. You have to hold your tray over your face, so your little eyes are peeking out. That's the only thing you can see. So you're holding your tray like this, and you're walking forward in line and walking forward in line. Then you get to a wall, and you have to slide by the wall. And it's kind of funny because you walk through there, and it's just a bunch of dudes in line, and then there's like 4 guys against the wall, just like staring at the wall. And then you get your food, and you put your tray out like that, and like that, and like that. There's like chow servers and everything. And then once you get your hot food, you go to the salad bar, and you get salad bar, you get salad bar. And then you can get like fruit, which I never knew I loved fruit so much. But I love fruit now. That's the thing. Trail mix, I love the trail mix. You can get Jello, pudding, yogurt, all kinds of stuff. I didn't because I hate peanut butter. Everybody got peanut butter and jelly and made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So that was the thing. And you had to always make sure your heels were together. You would sidestep through the salad bar. Always sidestep through the salad bar. And if you didn't have your heels together, a drill sergeant would make you stop, and you'd have to yell, "My food tastes better with my heels together." As loud as you could. No one ever yelled it loud enough. Even when they were yelling it loud enough, they weren't yelling it loud enough. Let's see. When you got drinks, you had to pour your drinks, and you had to hold them to your chest like this, because that's how you're supposed to hold grenades. So they had made you hold your cups to your chest like this. And if you didn't hold those to your chest, they made you yell, "Cups to my chest, cups to my chest, cups to my chest, cups to my chest." As loud as you could. The drill sergeants would like rap normal like popular rap songs. They would like start rapping to you because you're like making a beat for them and everything. "I'm gonna get you on my record label." They yelled that a lot. It was funny. And if you did something stupid, they made you take a lap. And that was my favorite part because they made you do race car noises. So every time you had to go around a corner, you'd go meow. And then one guy wasn't doing that loud enough, so then the drill sergeant was like, "Guys, help him out. He needs a little bit of help." So everyone would just kind of like, watch out the corner of the eye, and all of a sudden there goes Franklin coming around. And he starts to go, "Nyah," and all he gets is like, "Nyah," and all you hear is the entire room, the top of their lungs go, "Nyah." This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, but it was hilarious, just because everyone was doing it. Anyway, and then once you're done, you just throw your food out, and then you'd have to run, and then form back up outside, and then you march back. That's how eating worked. Least favorite MREs? Tuna MRE. It's not, so as far as tuna goes, I guess it's okay. I'm not a tuna guy, so I can't judge it. But everyone who liked tuna said that it was a good MRE. So I guess as far as tuna goes, it's not bad. And then my favorite MRE had to be menu number 24. I even have the number memorized. Number 24. Tuna, I think, is 11. I also have that one memorized because I know if I see those two little lines, just go the other way. But number 24 was my favorite. It was Southwestern beef and black beans. And it was like a taco kind of thing. And instead of having regular plain tortillas, they had Chipotle tortillas. They had cheese, so that was like your burritos. It was really good, actually. And then they had spiced pound cake. That was your like dessert. And they also had spiced apple bits, which is literally just apple pie filling, except way better. Like if I could have an apple pie with spiced apple bits or whatever, I would. Like this MRE is quality, top-notch stuff. And then it also comes with smoked almonds. So I always ate the almonds first, then I would eat my burritos, then I would eat the spiced apple bits, and then I would eat the spiced pound cake, which also is top. And then you also get like a little drink. Oh, and then it also comes with a mocha cappuccino. I lost 40 pounds, just gonna start that off. 40 pounds, wow. Ladies. PT was not terrible. It was awful, but it wasn't terrible at the same time because you just got used to it. First thing you do, it's first thing in the morning, so it's like 4:30, you just got up. And first thing you had to do was you had to fill up your camelback with water. So before you formed up, you always make sure you fill up your camelback because the drill sergeants had competitions to see who could throw people's camelbacks the farthest. Because if you didn't fill up, they picked it up and they would like twist around a bunch like a, what is that? Not shot put, but it's like similar to shot put.
Hammer?
Hammer, yeah. They'd do that, they'd spin around and throw it as far as they could. So you filled it up with water, but anyway, you get down to the PT field and there's the PT stand in the middle, which is just a big lunch table that your drill sergeant gets up on, and he does all the exercises while you do all the exercises around him. So it's like, this is the PT stand. Let's see, second's here, first is here, fourth is here, and then third platoon, which is us, was here. And so you all spread out, and you take your camelback off and lay it next to you, and you all do stretches. And then after you're done with stretching, then you go and you do whatever PT you're doing, which it's usually the pull-up bars or 30-60s, which is you sprint for 30 seconds and then walk for 60 seconds. And then after like 3 weeks, it turned into 60-120. So you'd sprint for a minute and then walk for 2 minutes. Then you do your I can't remember the name of it, but it was like you're just cooling down, cooling off stretches, and then you walk back and go to breakfast. So that was how PT worked. We didn't get smoked all that bad, actually. I had to think about it. Oh, actually, I wasn't there for that because it was on the forge. I had to leave the forge because my hip was bothering me, and that was the one thing the drill sergeants told us: don't mess around with the sick call. So I went to sick call, and I wasn't there for this, but it's like 3 o'clock in the morning at this point, probably. We had gotten over 2 days, probably about 3 hours of sleep. So we're all out there walking around, and we weren't going fast enough. We weren't doing. I was I was out. I wasn't part of this, so don't look at me. Basically, they made them low crawl and high crawl. Low crawling and high crawling, it's crawling, but high crawling, you're crawling on your elbows, and low crawling, you're flat against you're literally flat, and you can go ahead and you pull up, you reach up, and you lift up with one leg, and you basically like slide forward, and it's terrible because you're just getting sand everywhere, and like every little crease, usually your uniform's rolled up, so you unroll your uniform at the end of the day, and you got sand coming out and everything. It gets where it's not supposed to be, where you don't want it to go. It's terrible. They made them high crawl and low crawl for I guess like an hour. We had our vests on too, our bulletproof vests too, so it's like an extra 40 pounds, and our helmets and our weapons. So our weapons are getting dragged through the sand too, so they're all dirty. There's just sand everywhere. That was probably the worst they've gotten messed up. I never got messed up badly. The worst I got messed up was the Ranger drill sergeant. We were supposed to go eat at the DFAC, at the dining hall or whatever, and he told us to form up on him. So we went out to the front, said fall in, so we're all supposed to form up on him. And we didn't do it fast enough, and we were too close to him. We were supposed to be 3 paces away. We were too close to him, so he was like, everyone do push-ups. While we were doing push-ups, he walked like way down that way and said, fall in. So we all get up and we sprint down to him. We were like too close or wasn't too fast enough or something. And so we made us do push-ups, and then he walked all the way over that way, and it was like that for, I want to say, at least like an hour. So that was probably the worst I got messed up. Other than that, like, I don't know, I never got messed up. But there was one drill sergeant who would really mess people up. She was just, you didn't mess with her. She was the same lady that put her boot on that guy's helmet. And she would say, when I do 1, you run in place. When I say 2, you do push-ups. So she would say 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So everyone's just up and down and up and down and up and down. And pretty soon she's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And she's like right in your face, and you're like, I can't get up fast enough. I can't get up fast enough. And it's not so much that she does it for a long time, but it's just the stress of having this lady just like screaming in your ear. It's like, I should never do that to you. So there's one, but I'm not going to say it because, but this, Phillips, he couldn't have been taller than like 5'1". And Rangel me and him got pretty good friends. He was about the same size. Me and Hancock were 2 really tall guys. Phillips and Rangel got in a pillow fight, and Hancock thought it would be funny if we had bay jousting. Rangel got on my back, and Phillips got on Hancock's back, and we started running at each other in the bay. Rangel was on my back with a pillow, and Phillips was on his back with a pillow. And we were running all around the bay, just hitting each other with pillows. And let's see. Oh, Pierce, he's this guy from Southern California, just some surfer, stoner guy. He fell asleep like this one night. This is my phone. He fell asleep like this one night because he was really tired. And at night, one of the fire guards thought it would be funny to shave his armpits. They shaved his armpits while he was asleep, and he didn't know. And he was so proud of it for some reason. He's like, guys, look, my armpits got shaved. He was walking around all day showing everybody. And this was toward the end of the cycle, so the drill sergeants were like kind of being cool with us now, and they were like kind of joking around with us. And they thought that was funny. Pierce got his armpits shaved. The last one that I thought was really, really funny was we were trying on our dress uniforms. I didn't, because I didn't want to take it out of the plastic. I didn't want to ruin it up. I didn't want to ruin it. But our undershirts are really long. And a bunch of the guys are in the bathroom changing. And someone comes out and says, guys, you got to see Rangel. So we all go in there expecting to see Rangel all dressed up, pinned up and everything. But no, he's leaning against the wall real seductively in his undershirt. And that's it. It comes down to about his knees. And he's sitting there like flirting with all the boys because he's in this nice little nightgown he's got. That was funny. I will say it did fit his figure. Anyway, next question. So field exercises were all pretty much just worked into the foot marches. So we would march for a bit, and then we had one where we did mass casualty exercise, where basically it ended up being our platoon because we were in the front. Because we were marching, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. No, I think it was, it was at night or in the morning. It was dark out. Anyway, the drill sergeant turns around, he's like, 3rd platoon, you're all dead. And so we're all kind of like, what? Like, what's going on? We're like holding her up and he's looking around like, what? He's like, just get on the ground, you're all dead. So we'll just get on the ground, and all the other platoons had to carry us to a certain spot and basically act as if they had stumbled across 50-something people just laying out sprawled on the ground dead. And then we had like some medical ones where we had to patch a guy up. The drill sergeant said, okay, this guy's got this guy's got this, so we had to like treat wounds. I was one of the people getting treated, so I just took a nap while some dude put a bandage on my leg. That was pretty cool. So they were all little stuff like that. They weren't that bad. It was just whatever. The hardest part was doing it at 2 in the morning when you have no sleep. He was funny. He was a funny kid, but he just wasn't all there mentally. And so we were marching back, and we had to. It was kind of tricky because you had to do a left, and then you had to take a right. And when you take a left, because you're 4 wide, the people on the inside are going faster than the people on the outside. So the outside people really have to walk fast to catch up because they have farther to go, basically. So somehow, some way, as soon as we turned left and then we had to turn right again. So it's just this weird, like going really fast. It was just a weird situation. Somehow, he gets outside the formation, like he's like at least 5 or 6 feet completely away from us. Somehow, I don't know how. And he like is aiming towards this bush, and somebody's like, "Get back to formation." He's like, "Oh," and the drill sergeant sees it. He's like, "No, go right for that bush, right for that bush." And it's the only bush. It's the only bush around. He's like, "Drill sergeant, which bush?" He was. He didn't last long, but he was fun while it lasted. Sundays were very relaxed. You woke up and you signed up for your church service, and then you all got in line to go eat breakfast. And then once you came back, you just hung around the barracks until it was time for whatever religious service. And whatever religious service you went to, you got marched there, you got marched back, and then all of the religious service were usually done before lunch. And then you would all go eat lunch. And then you came back and you cleaned in and around the area. You either cleaned the bays, you cleaned like the company classroom, you would clean like the platoon lines where you formed up in the morning. You went out and you picked up pine cones, stuff like that. So it was like a convention of picking up sticks. You just got used to it. You got used to it. You gotta, like, you made friends. It's just whatever you did. It's pretty easy being away from your phone when no one else has it. Everyone's just going through the same thing, so it's like you don't really think about it. This one kid, Winston, who looks just like it sounds. He had the thickest glasses I've ever seen. Like, these are small glasses. They were about as thick this way as they are up and down this way. I mean, this, like, you look at him and his eyes look like they're this big around. Anyway, he was at the range and he was shooting, and he was changing positions. And he got dirt in his barrel. And the drill sergeant's like, "Oh, good job there, killer. You got dirt in your barrel." He's like, "Really?" Looks down the barrel with a loaded weapons on. It wasn't unsafe or anything. Oh man. Just watching him do it was like, he does it and you don't think anything of it because why would anybody do that? And then he's like, gets yelled at or whatever, and then you're just sitting there thinking like, he really just did that. He actually just did that, didn't he? Man. He was the only person that kept his phone. We had a phone call, he kept his phone, and he kept it in his locker. He kept it behind, he charged it behind his locker. So all the lockers are up against the wall, but there's about a foot of space. And he found an outlet behind all the lockers, and that's where he kept his phone charging at night. And someone knew about it. I knew about it because I went to sick call with him because I had a sinus infection, so I got medication for that. And he was at sick call with me that day, and I saw him using it in his backpack. Like, he opened up his backpack and he was like using it, whatever. So I knew he had it, but I was like, hey, I don't know anything. Like, I didn't tell anybody he had it. I didn't say anything because it's not my business. I'm not gonna. And he would like pay people. People would pay him to use it. It's like, hey, I'll give you $20 a year and call my parents for like a couple months. He's like, yeah, sure. Too many people found out about it. Somebody slid it under the drill sergeant's door, and he knew that somebody had it. And it was like, I don't know, maybe 11 o'clock at night or something. And he was walking around the bay, yelling, waking everybody up, like, who has my phone? Who has my phone? Who has my phone? And the drill sergeant opened the door the next day and just opens it and he's like, whose phone is this? I've never heard so many people go silent so quickly. It's hilarious. But anyway, he threatened to take away their family day if people didn't start talking about it. He said, you're going to get all of that recycled, stuff like that. And finally, we all decided that somebody needed to step forward and say that even though it wasn't me, it was me. So that's what somebody did. They went through, they called all the recent numbers and people that had called their parents. They called them down, and they still had family day, but they just couldn't go anywhere. Like, they had to stay in the bay, like around the bay. They couldn't go in the bay because you're not, like, parents and family and stuff aren't around the bay. But they could stay like downstairs or whatever, like in and around the barracks. So they have family day, but they just can stay there. The guy who kept his phone got held back to week 2. They sent him back to week 2. So everybody who uses their phone, we also had a football game that we went to a couple days ago. A college football game. They all bussed us too. That was cool. They didn't get to go to that, which they didn't really miss much. All the football game, no one watched the football game. They just ate food the whole time. So the football game was really just waiting and waiting. Anyway,
All right. I'm done.
Okay.
Today's soldier is, above all, a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and are determined to destroy enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. The uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are a willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for by all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Private Nathan Buck leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed.